welcome to Fantasia, home of the melodious. My name's Azallea, and today, gonna be bringing you guys another playtesting video. Now this time, we're gonna be working with our Ritual Beast deck. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into this. So again, we're starting off with 5 cards, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's see what we ended up drawing. So we have a Macrocosmos, a Spiritual Beast Kanahawk, which is not too bad in the opening hand. Lose 1 turn. Oh, that's awesome. We have our Ritual Beast Tamer Elder too. Fantastic card in the opening hand. And this is my proxy for Stormy Mirror Force. So very good variety of traps to work with. But of course, the main combo that we're going to see here is the Elder and Kanahawk combo. So let's just start with this. So normal summon the Elder, and then using Elder's effect, we get an additional normal summons for our Spiritual Beast monsters. We normal summon our Kanahawk. Next, we're going to activate our Kanahawk's effect, and we're just going to banish a Spiritual Beast monster from our deck. You can banish the Rapengu, and eventually you are going to actually banish the Winda as well. So let's just put that here. So you can banish either one of these first. I just prefer going for the Rapengu because it's just another card that's really great for you to add to your hand eventually if your Kanahawk, you know, if this next play doesn't go through, so that you can add that back. So yeah, we're just going to use these, and we're going to fuse with them, and then summon our yeah, there we go, Ritual Beast Ulti Petalfin. Summon that into one of our extra monster zones, so there's that. And then what we're actually going to do is immediately just defuse her back into the extra deck to summon back our Elder and our Kanahawk to our side of the field. And then we're going to use Kanahawk's effect once more, and this time we're going to banish our Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda from our deck. Like that, just like that. And now what we can actually do is start going for our searches. So you fuse with both of these cards again. Make sure that you can't special summon the Kanahawk or the Elder again this turn. So that's very important. And then we're actually going to special, nope, not the Petalfin. Normally I keep the, there we go, I keep the Kanahawk on top because you special summon Kanahawk so much in this deck. So we're going to special summon the Ulti Kanahawk, and then using Ulti Kanahawk's effect, we're going to target 2 of our monsters here. So we're going to target the Elder, and then we're going to target the Winda right here. So one of the monsters has to be something that cannot be special summoned again this turn, just so you're getting value out of your cards. And the other card that you're targeting is something that you can special summon again this turn. So we're targeting these 2 to return to the graveyard. But what we're going to do is actually chain Kanahawk's other effect to return back to the extra deck to summon out 2 monsters. So we're actually going to be summoning out the Rapengus. We're going to target that. And then we're actually going to target the Winda as well to summon back. So what happens is both of these cards get summoned back to your side of the field. And then the Elder gets returned from your banished zone into your graveyard, and now you can go for your search. So we're going to search out 1 copy of Steeds, because we don't have that in our opening hand, and it's going to be very, very good coupled with this Macrocosmos here. So the Macrocosmos actually just make sure everything gets banished, and then the Steeds will make sure you destroy your opponent's field, and everything will basically be gone. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now we're going to activate Rapengu's effect. We're going to banish one of the Ulti Ritual Beast monsters in our extra deck. So I usually like to banish the Petalfin first, just to get the little Petalfin out of my deck so I don't draw into it. I'd much rather draw into something like the Apelio than something like this Petalfin right here. So I'm going to send that to the graveyard, just like that. And now what I can do is I can actually fuse once more both of these, and we're going to summon our Ulti Kanahawk yet again. Now with our Ulti Kanahawk, now we can target the Ulti Petalfin that we just banished from our extra deck, and then we can target the Rapengu. I want to keep the Kanahawk and the Winda. Winda's really good to defuse on your opponent's turn, because again, she's a floater that can float into anything that you need, and Kanahawk's just a little bit more versatile than the Rapengu is, in my opinion. So we're going to return both of these to the graveyard, because again, your Ulti Kanahawk can't diffuse anymore, because we already special summoned all of our Ritual Beast monsters once this turn. So now we're going to search for an ambush, because ambush is very great for recovery. And Ambush is great because we already have so many targets. We have Elder, Petalfin, and the Rapengu in our graveyard for us to revive on our next turn, or on our opponent's end phase of our opponent's turn, right? So we're adding this to our hand, and now this is the best part, where you can just take all of your back row and just play the set 5 game. So you're going to set all 5 of your back row, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Your opponent's going to hate you, and you're going to have a blast on your opponent's turn. So yeah, this is a pretty good field. Now, what I would do on your opponent's turn when they draw or on their standby phase is actually just return this Kanahawk back to your extra deck immediately. You don't want to lose him to like a Kaiju or anything like that, and then you're going to special summon both of these back to your side of the field, just so that you're ready. Of course, Wind is a floater, so you don't mind her getting destroyed, and again, you have all of this back row helping you, helping back you up. So Ambush can bring something back. You have Steez to blow things up. You have your Macrocosmos to just banish things. Make sure if you're chaining Steez, right? If you do Steez as Chainlink 1, make sure that you're flipping Macrocosmos as a Chainlink 2, and that way Macrocosmos will resolve. Anything that gets sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Then you destroy all your opponent's cards, and then all their cards will get banished, right? So that's good. And then of course we have the Stormy Mirror Force to protect from battle if we need that, and lose 1 turn to act as a mini skill drain for our opponent if they manage to start going off. So yeah, that's a pretty good field, and we're gonna jump right into the next combo after I clean this up. Alright guys, welcome back. So I've shuffled the deck and we're ready to go into our second hand. So let's see what we get here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, starting off with the Steeds, Elder again. We have, oh okay, this is interesting. So we have 1 copy of Ritual Beast Return, we have Spiritual Beast Rapengu, and a Ritual Beast Tamer Lara. So because we have a Lara, that's a very good sign for us. Okay, so because we have the Elder and a Spiritual Beast monster, that's definitely going to be our starting play. But because we actually have this Ritual Beast Return, that's actually going to be pretty good for us. We can extend our combo by a lot more. So let's just jump into this. So we're going to normal summon the Elder, and then we're going to normal summon the Spiritual Beast Rapengu using Elder's effect for an additional normal summon. We're going to activate Rapengu's effect, so we're going to banish one of our Ritual Beast monsters from our extra deck. In this case, I'm probably going to banish the Ulti Apelio. So I'm going to banish that, because I want to send a Spiritual Beast Apelio from my deck to my graveyard. There he is. We're going to send that. And that's going to be a pretty good setup for our Ritual Beast Return. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fuse both of these, and we're actually going to go for our Ulti Kanahawk immediately, because we have enough targets for us to actually search and defuse. So Ulti Kanahawk's going to use its searching effect. We're going to target the Ritual Beast Ulti Apelio, and we're going to target the Ritual Beast Tamer Elder to return to our graveyard. Then we're going to chain Ulti Kanahawk's effect, targeting the Rapengu and the Elder to special summon to your side of the field. So we're going to do that, special summon both of these guys out, and return this to the graveyard, and now we get a search. So we're going to go, and let's see what we already have in our hands. We have 1 copy of Steeds. We're going to go for a copy of Ambush, because that's the second best target that we can search right now. So that's pretty good. Just going to add that to our hand. And now what we can actually do is we can use Rapengu's effect once more. This time I'm probably going to send the Ulti Apelio. So I'm going to banish the Ulti Apelio from my extra deck. And if you banish the Ulti Apelio, because Rapengu sends something of the same type and Ulti Apelio is Psychic, you can actually send a Psychic monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is going to be one of the Tamers. So I'm going to send the Winda from the deck to the graveyard, because she's always a very nice monster to have in circulation, because she's treated as both a Spiritual Beast monster and a Ritual Beast Tamer, so that's always good. She's very versatile in that regard. Alright, so we're going to fuse with these, the Elder and the Rapengu, and we're going to summon our Ritual Beast Ulti Kanahawk yet again. Now, what I want to do now is I'm actually going to activate the Ritual Beast Return. So what I have to do is banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from my hand. So I'm going to banish this Lara, and then I can special summon one of my Ritual Beasts from my graveyard or my banish zone. That's why I sent the Apelio. Apelio is great for this, because then you can special summon him back, and Apelio's effect can actually help us start cycling resources from our graveyard into our banish zone, so that's great. So using Apleo's effect, I'm actually going to banish the Winda from my graveyard, so now everything on my side of the field that's a Ritual Beast monster gains 500 attack defense. Doesn't really matter too much because it's our first turn, but now what I can do is use my Ulti Kanahawk's effect, and we're going to target, let's just target the Lara, and let's target the Ulti Pelio to put back into our graveyard, and then we're actually going to use our Ulti Kanahawk's effect to defuse, return to the extra deck, and we're going to target the Winda and the Lara, because Lara's a tamer, and Winda in this case is treated as a spiritual beast monster, and we can special summon both of these to our side of the field. And then the Ulti Pelio goes to the graveyard, and we can get another search. Now, we already have a Steeds and an Ambush, but having more Steeds is never too bad. Your opponent doesn't know that you have the other Steeds in your hand, at least with this hand that we have. So, you know, if you use your first Steeds, they're thinking, oh, okay, well, I baited out the Steeds, but surprise, surprise, we have a second one right here. So that's why searching out a second copy of Steeds is not too bad, even if you already had one. Okay, so now what we can do is, I want to leave the Apleo on the field actually, so we're going to banish both of these, the Winda and the Lara. We're going to summon our Ulti Kanahawk yet again. This deck basically just abuses Ulti Kanahawk, right? So what we're going to do is use Ulti Kanahawk, and we're going to target the, let's target the Elder, and let's target the Lara. Yeah, we could target the Elder, and we can target the Rapengu to put back into our deck, or sorry, into our graveyard. And then we can get another search. This time, we're probably going to go for since we already have enough traps and you can only activate one ambush a turn, probably going to search for a copy of Wen. Wen is a very, very good card for us to be able to go for recovery plays next turn. So in case our board does get wiped or whatever, you do have a Wen that you can normal summon, and you can target and bring the Winda back, or next turn during your opponent's turn, Apleo can banish Rapengu or something like that, so you can bring Rapengu back, and then you can just go for another fusion that way. So that's really nice. And then of course we have our 3 traps to back up our plays. And of course, on your opponent's turn, it's very important that you actually tag out again, because you have your Ulti Kanahawk right here. You do not want to have Ulti Kanahawk on your opponent's turn. It's just not worth the risk. So during your opponent's draw or standby phase, you're going to return this back to your extra deck, and you're going to summon out the Winda and the Lara. Or what you could do first is just banish something like Rapengu with your Apleo, so that you can, save a target in your banish zone or whatever for your Wen next turn, depending on what you want. Normally, I would probably just summon the Lara and the Winda, to be honest, because then Lara has a good defense. She'll be 2,500 defense after Apleo's buff, and the Winda will have 2,300 defense after Apleo's buff. So they're both really good walls. And then what we have here is you can banish the Rapengu with your Apleo, and then you can almost summon the Wen and bring back the Rapengu during your next turn. So yeah, that's a pretty good hand, and we made a pretty good field. So yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more Ritual Beast content, and leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to improve. And until next time, take care.